I know you're from Shabtai. Shabtai Tzvi, but you're my friend Shata?
Shiur now 55.
55. Nun Hey.
Nun Hey.
Nun Hey.
We're Nun Hey or
You guys can't sit next to each other.
Oh, we're in.
They can't sit next to each other. Excuse me, lovebirds. I'll sit in between you.
Really? What?
They can't sit next to each other.
We're in Shiur, now 55. אחר שהתחלנו. So we talked about today in our shiur how the prophecy was lost to us, right?
Yes.
So in the second temple, right, the death of Malachi. I said a lot of history to you guys today. I hope it was beneficial.
Yes.
It's very beneficial to know what went on over there because it's the same reoccurring story that happens again and again. That's happening in America now.
To this day. Every generation.
Right.
To this day.
Go ahead, Kate.
So now Rav Chaim Vital is going to tell us that we said all about how prophecy, how you get it, how Yechezkel had prophecy, right? From which level? Because Ali Ta'esh Adam. Don't think that it's impossible to get. I told you about it, now you're going to think it's impossible to get prophecy, right? I'm not going to do all these things, know my Shorosh Neshama, and then meditate on it to get the Shefa down to my Neshama, to my Chaya, Yehida, Neshama, Ruach, Nefesh. It's impossible. I have to do all the mitzvot. We talked about doing all the mitzvot, to fixing our midot. Like, what are we over here? You know? Exactly. So after we told you all about how to get hasaga, do not give up hope. Pasuk is in the pasuk. Udvora isha neviah. Dvorah was a prophetess, a woman. She reached prophecy. It's possible. What? It's not possible. This was without a Beit HaMikdash, by the way. This is in the time of the judges. Tana de Eliyahu. It says in the book of Eliyahu, in the Academy of Eliyahu, Me'id ani alai tashmayim v'da'aretz. I promise you, I testify in the heaven and earth. Eliyahu Navi says, Ben ish, ben isha, man or woman. Ben goy, even a goy, one of the umot ha'olam. Ben Yisrael, or an Israelite. Ben eved or shivcha, a slave or a maidservant. Hakol lefi ma'asav, everything is relatively speaking to his actions. Ruach hakodesh alav, the divine presence could rest upon him. So it's not something that's impossible. HaKadosh Baruch Hu could send you itutim and stuff if you reach that level. Not like one guy called me, Rabbi, you know where Mashiach is? Mashiach is some guy from California. I know where Mashiach is. I'm like, who is this guy? He said, I want to speak to you of Chaim Kanievsky. I said, okay, you got the wrong number, pal. I don't think that's the right, you know? I don't think that's the way it goes. We heard in our ears, says Rabbi Chaim Vital, special people. They have reached Ruach HaKodesh in our time. Chaim tells us, I've seen people that have reached Ruach HaKodesh. In his book of Sefer HaChezionot, he writes about one rabbi called Rabbi Lapidot Ashkenazi, that he said he had opened Ruach HaKodesh. People used to come to him, ask him the future. Chaim Vital writes this in Sefer HaChezionot. Dari HaKadosh was one of these people too. It says, in my generation before me, Rabbi Chaim Vital, they didn't have this. In my generation already there is again. So he says, from my time there's more openness. Why? Because not to cause people that are wanting to have Ruach HaKodesh to say, oh, it's impossible. So Hashem is giving the Shefa to certain people. What Baba Sali HaKadosh had, they said he had open Ruach HaKodesh, famous story how he brought down rain, fill it on mikvah. He said, I'm not moving from this spot until there's going to be rain down here. Stories like that. With eyewitnesses. Huh? Oh, the Levana famous story, he moved his hand like this and that was a Levana. Ve'eftach, he says, I'm going to explain to you how to get it. A little bit. And Hashem will not close the pathway to us, B'ezrat Hashem. Because first I have to tell you in the 8th, this is the 8th Sha'ar, how to act. Now, this book, I'll be honest with you, Sha'arei Kedusha, you see, we have exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages left.
The next much more than that.
No, that's a different book. That's a different book. This is a different book, Tomer Dvorah. You see over here it says Hashar Revi'i. You see that? Then it stops. They purposely omitted the last section of the book.
You can't handle it?
Because no, the books, they didn't print it. Because in the last chapter, he talks about certain things you could do to get Ruach HaKodesh. And they didn't want it to fall into the hands of the wrong people.
One example, please.
So I happen to have that section.
Of course. Put
So,
your hand in the power socket?
No, don't do that, please. Don't do that. I happen to have that section. It's basically in this section, he takes from all the books that he knew of, how they got it, and he writes them. So for example, he brings down one way, and he says, well, obviously all these things, you need to be a person that you control all of your midot. Those kind of things that you're a Baal Ta'ava, Baal Ka'as. You have a person that controls your midot. It's under, full emunah, obviously. There's no chashom kafrut. One of the ways, he says, to get it, he says if you want to talk to let's say for example, a Tana, or you want the soul of a certain righteous person to come inside of you, he says you sit down, you have to make sure you're alone at home. Of course.
No witnesses.
No witnesses. You have to wear talit. Sit in the room by yourself, make sure nobody will bother you. It's better to do this in some kind of like forest.
Open
Yeah, it's in an open area or somewhere where nobody will bother you, where you could be close with nature.
Monkey can jump on.
No monkeys. It's not
It didn't say
Mowgli.
Bronx.
And you have to sit down, you have to pick a Mishnah. Let's say you pick a Mishnah, Rabban Gamliel Omer, Aseh Lacharav, Vistalek Min HaSafek, V'al Tarbeh La'aser Amadot. Somebody's alive over there? V'al Tarbeh La'aser Amadot. Let's say you pick this Mishnah, you understand? And you have to say it many times.
It's inside there.
It's inside over there? I don't know, somebody's over there.
Yeah, light is on.
Yeah, forget it. It says over there, you have to sit down and say this Mishnah 1,000,000 times. As many times as you can.
It's like meditation.
Yeah, like a meditation, but you meditate on a certain Mishnah with only one rabbi's name in there. You have to imagine as you say it, that Tzaddik's Neshama is going in your words and he can speak to you back. And you have to do it so many times they get into a trance. And then eventually Rabban Gamliel could speak to you through your own mouth. Like what happened to Rav Yosef Karo, he was sitting in the Shulchan Aruch, he was sitting down with his Talmidim, and suddenly the Mishnah started to speak from his throat. That's exactly what happened to him. He was so into the Mishnah, they actually heard a call coming out of his voice that wasn't his own call, and they started to speak back to him. And they heard it, and that's what Baal Ruach HaKodesh, he got that Ruach HaKodesh, that one, it's called a Magid.
But you don't have any control of that.
Yeah, you don't have control of it. So Chas v'Shalom, if the Magid is going to tell you something that's wrong, right? We learned about that. We said if a person, let's say he learns Torah, by the moment that he's learning, his thought is not in the Torah. He's saying the words of Torah, but he's thinking about work. So that angel, the Torah that you created, is kind of like a liar angel. Because the neshama of that angel was your thought. And your thought was thinking about something else. So it's very dangerous. You have to be a person with control over your thoughts. But he's not telling you to fast 100 days, to dip in the ice. He's not telling you to do this. It's simple. You pick a Mishnah. That's one way. There was a rabbi, he's actually his Rebbe, of Yosef Jikatilia, which I was talking to you about. I wish they could have gotten to it today, but said it's all from Hashem. He had a rabbi called Rabbi Avram Abulafia. And we have his books today. Nobody knows what happened to him at the end. They say they know, but the truth is he kind of like disappeared. He wanted to bring the Mashiach. A lot of rabbis went against him, and he basically has all of his books is how to reach Ruach HaKodesh through the 72-letter names of Hashem's name. And it's deep meditations. How do you do it? You take a name of Hashem, for example. Let's say Yud K Yud, and you go with your head. There's certain motions you have to make with your head, and you have to say it with all the different nikudot. Ya. If you go like this with your head, motions.
Did I say for your turn?
And it's that, and like hey, and you have to make all these motions. You have to get into a trance. You have to get out of the conscious and go into the subconscious, basically. You have to do it through Kedusha. You understand? So it's Rabbi Avram Abu, his Rebbe, by the way. At the end, nobody knows what happened to him. He tried to convert the Pope. He got put in jail. and he disappeared from the scene. The Rashba went against him. He called him a fake prophet. A lot of rabbis went against him. But the funny thing was, he was his rabbi, and his book was in the hands of the Ari Kadosh. So listen, there's a lot of controversy over here because we don't want some Michigana like Yoshka to come along and do some miracles, then to make all the Jewish world crazy. You understand what I'm saying? That's where it is, like Shabbatai Tzvi. How did he get people to follow him? Suddenly you see him one day, he doesn't sleep for 7 days. It's superhuman. How do you not sleep for 7 days? It's not like he was in Las Vegas, in the casinos. Our guy is just saying Torah for 1 day straight. And everybody's attached to him. There was a rabbi like that, a Rebbe. He was actually the second Rebbe of Chabad, the Mittler Rebbe. His student, his son-in-law was the next Rebbe, and the Tzemach Tzedek, and he had like 6, 7, I don't know, he had a couple of sons, and the second son, I think they nicknamed him the Stender. The Stender. So once the youngest brother, who's going to be the fourth Rebbe, Rebbe Maharash, he asked his older brother, he says, why do they call you the Stender? One day I was walking with Grandpa, and he started to say some Hasidus, and he was leaning on me, and I stood like a Stender. I said, okay, how long did he lean on you? In the Mittler Rebbe, the second Rebbe, he had when he used to talk, he used to speak. I said, okay, how long did he talk? An hour? He said, an hour. Please, they called you the Stender for that? I could do 1 hour. 2 hours. Was it 2 hours? Yeah, it was 2 hours. 2 hours. 3, 4. Till he got it out of him. 18 hours straight he was standing, and he was saying straight Chassidut, Torah. Because from then on, the guys saw me in the morning, coming back at night for Aravit, I'm still over there, and he's saying Chassidut. They nicknamed me the Stender. You understand? There are superhuman feats that a person could, if he's really fixated on something, But even in the Goyish world, right? How does a person remember so many medications and this till his brain becomes, when we used to learn halakha in the Kollel, for Rabbanut, there's hundreds of halachot. We used to learn it so much, we used to dream about it.
Yeah.
We used to dream about it. We used to dream that I'm learning halachot. When you're into something so much, you become fixated, you start to dream and always think about it, and you make it. It's like Mayim Amukim, right?
If someone has the wrong kavanah, and they still get it?
The wrong kavanah?
Let's say they will have kavanah to use it for the wrong reasons.
He will get it, but he will break. The vessel will break at the end.
Why would it go to him if Hashem knows he's going to use it for the wrong reason?
No, because that's the thing about this. Everyone has the free will to take the shefa. Everyone has the free will to take the shefa. You understand?
So it's like a nature in a way.
Everything is really teva. You understand? But we as Klal Yisrael, we have as we learned in Otzrot Chaim, there's Olam HaIgulim and Olam HaYosher. We're the Yosher. We break through the teva. We reveal the Ein Sof in the teva. The Igulim, Olamot HaIgulim, it's a term we learned in Otzrot Chaim. Right? That's Olam HaTeva. Teva is also godliness. HaTeva is Gematria Elokim. Right? What's greater to see God, to perceive Him? Through the outside world or through what's inside of me?
Inside.
Huh? Through what's inside. That's Yosher. Olamot HaYosher. And the Neshama inside of me, right? But really the Chassidut says that actually when God surrounds me, even though He's not in me, I actually could perceive Him much greater. Because I see it. It's visual. What's inside of me, I can't see it. I feel it. Right? But I don't see it. Seeing is much greater. But sometimes when you just see it and you don't feel it, then you break. Like they saw God in Har Sinai. They didn't see Him, but they saw whatever they saw over there. They perceived Him, whatever He perceived, and then 40 days later they started dancing around the golden calf. Okay? Let's continue. הנה דרך המופחש שבגלל ומה תדענו בשם תנא דבי זכולתו והיא דרך שנהגו בה החסידים הפירושים הקדמונים והוא לשוב בתשובה. First of all, you gotta do תשובה מכל אשר קלקל. You gotta fix all your עבירות. If you do חילול שבת 10 times, you gotta do תשובה 10 times. ואחר כך ישלים נמשוך עם זה, do all the mitzvot עשה. Make sure if you're missing a mitzvah to fulfill all the mitzvot. וכוונת תפילה בתכלית. This is the punchline. Your kavanah of your tefillah has to be בתכלית. בתכלית. עסק התורה לשמה. You gotta learn Torah לשמה בזריזות. Don't be lazy when you learn Torah. בזריזות. קשור לעול. You gotta learn Torah עד שיתש כוחו, until you become loy. They say in Bochai. Right? Until you want to give out. Right? Like some people over here, they're giving out already. They're reaching this level. ובמיעוט תענוגים, sleep less. Eat less. במיעוט אכילה ושתייה, eat less. Except on Shabbat, you can have a piece of brisket. That's mutar. וכמעט חצות, you gotta wake up at midnight every night. You have to be awake at midnight. That's הרחקת כל המידות מגונות. Stay away from all bad midot. Temper is the worst. Anger, gas.
Today was big on
Yeah, today was something big, you think. ובפרישות, it's okay. ובפרישות, Torah was not given to angels. ובפרישות מכל אדם, אפילו בענייני שיחה בטלה. Don't talk nonsense to people. No שיחה בטלה. כל הזמן טבילה. Every day, don't miss the mikveh. אחר כך התבודד, do התבודדות. Every day, couple of minutes. Get yourself used to התבודדות.
Super Hasid over there.
This is the easiest one he's saying. ביראת Hashem, תחשוב על יראת Hashem. How do I serve my creator all the time? Think of new ways how to serve him, how to make Hashem happy. Always think of Yud Kei Vav Kei. Never think of the Havlei Olam. I heard a crazy story, maybe on Shabbat I'll share it with you guys. About a guy who came back. About Abraham will tell you if you
That's
do
a
it.
you problem. That's a you problem.
וידבק באהבתו, בחשק גדול. באהבה את Hashem. Always think about how do I love Hashem more. ויזכה לרוח הקודש. How? Number one, first of all, you're going to get Ruach HaKodesh by so much mitzvot. Mitzvah is the light. It's a light. You're going to do so much light, so much mitzvot. Boom, you're going to get a light inside your Shoresh Neshama. ותתגלה אליו רוח הקודש. You're going to have an epiphany of Ruach HaKodesh. Right?
But why are we
Show
so
the movie electricity.
that we want to have a weapon?
Oh, why do we want a Ruach HaKodesh?
I'll be okay with that.
I feel like
But you don't want to.
That's another
No,
level.
you're doing it for the feeling. That's
This whole
already-
book is one reason.
But
Too
that's,
dangerous.
This whole book is one
But
reason.
you know how to handle it.
You gotta know how to learn.
Shalom.
Right?
You said
Are
it's
you
to
doing it for
feel.
the reason?
If you're
You
gonna
do
get
it
rid
for
of
feeling?
that means you
Wrong
No.
mistake, the wrong thought.
No.
If the
Something
feeling
said.
is to delve into the Ein Sof,
Yeah. Get.
He's
You're
talking about that
messing with
feeling of
fire over
high.
not getting eyes.
No, it's
No,
not.
mine's
Oh my
fire.
God.
But I think if you
I
get
am
to the
like a
level where you
million
can
level
get
kind
it,
of
then
thing.
you
No,
have
it's-
to-
Second way, Gabriel
You
John.
have to control
Gabriel-
the Talmud.
You're doing it for the wrong
No,
reason.
Gabriel.
okay.
You're not supposed to get pleasure.
You master
Hasheni
it.
hu.
It's off his pleasure.
Listen, at the end of the day, the greatest pleasure is connecting to the Ein Sof.
Thank
Are you
you.
supposed to do it for the reason of pleasure?
But it's like, you know how it is? Like when you're on a date
No,
and then you don't see.
No.
No, it is. When you didn't speak to her for a day, lahavdil of course, lahavdil elef havdil. You didn't, and you really like this girl. You didn't speak to her for the whole day, and you can't wait to go on the date tonight. Like you have that ahavat, that cheshek, and of course that you're shomer nigiah and everything,
Yeah, of
obviously.
Of course.
And you really want to go on that. You know, there's so much cheshek. You understand? Like this, you have to want to love Hashem all the time. Like I can't wait to get to shacharit. I can't wait to speak to him right now. You understand? If you're gonna get yourself used to it, you gotta get to so in love with Hashem, it's gonna be crazy. Like for example, you love your wife so much, you can't wait to come home from work. You can't wait to see her when you get home and for her to cook you that dinner. For your wife, it's the opposite. It's fear.
Some
You
people
can't wait
stay-
to fear her so
some
much
people-
when you get home.
Some people stay home, work late.
Exactly. No, it's just a joke. We love our wives, obviously. Holy cow. No, we're kidding. We do love it.
I have to erase that part.
No, it's By the way, marriage is not about love, Gabriel. It's about
Compromise.
It's about needing one another. I need her to be in my life. If you're gonna get married for love, the love will dissipate because love, like we learned in Otzrot Hayim when we used to learn it, love is a zivug. For a zivug, you need a clash.
That's it.
Understand? Well, you're always clashing.
No.
You can't always
We're not
clash.
clashing.
You understand? Ahava of Hashem, right, comes through a clash. How? On Shema Yisrael, I killed myself in His name. As I'm investing in the light of Hashem, I'm loving Him more. After I killed myself for Him, and then I say Vahafta, now I love you. You understand? You can't always love your wife because if you always love her and one day you're not gonna love her, what are you gonna do?
Kill her.
What are you gonna do? You have to need her. You understand what I'm saying? You have to need her. Well, Adam Arishon was we're not. This is not a Shalom Bayit class. Next.
Next.
You ask your local rabbi. So the second way is by learning so much Torah, by doing a mitzvah and so much ahava, you're gonna get a praklit echad, a defendant, a lawyer. You're gonna tzar mimenu malach. It's gonna be an angel. But you have to do and you have to do it with so much kavanah. L'shem yichod kuchav v'shchinteh, and that malach will reveal himself to you. That's called a magi. That's called a magi. You need one. No, it'll reveal to you in real life.
I need a magi.
Understand? There was a rabbi. I'll be honest. I have his book at home.
Rabbi Levi, what's it what you call him?
I'm talking about a rabbi that passed away 10 years ago. His name was Rav Yitzchak Tzvi Bernfeld. He was a big rabbi in Bnei Brak. He was a rabbi of the Khatam Sofer Shul. He was himself a descendant of the Khatam Sofer. I have his book. The whole book, if you get read it, you're gonna be like, whoa, this guy is making gematriot in the tens of thousands. Like, it's like, how is it, and with multiplications and these secrets, and the whole book is all Torah HaMagid. The Magid is telling him all this Torah. And this Magid tells him, go to Australia now, be a rabbi over there, you gotta go into exile. And all the way he got it was by finishing 18 chapters of Mishnayot a day. 18 chapters, not 18 Mishnayot.
Wow.
I tried doing it for a certain amount of time. I almost fell on the floor.
Did you see a manga?
I did not see Amar. I think I saw my grandparents in the Shammai.
He was on the way, probably.
Yeah, he went to the level.
It was really hard because
Ways.
18 Mishnayot is like finishing a whole Masechet every single day. Mishnayot. 18 chapters.
How you do that?
Chapters, you understand? My favorite one was Masechet Sanhedrin. It was actually kind of easy for me, Sanhedrin. It has 10 chapters in it. Shabbat has 24 chapters in it. So if you know the whole Shabbat, you could do. He used to do Masechet Makot a lot. He finished like 10,000 times, something crazy, a big number. And Makot is Gematria Hirhurim. So a person who doesn't want to have bad thoughts, a Sigula for them, they should learn it for the Sigula, is to learn Masechet Makot. You understand? So he used to do Makot a lot. One the time when he finished like in the 10,000th time, the Magid showed up to him on a ship. And the Magid showed up to him and started to speak to him on a ship. He was running away from the Nazis.
Oh, I thought he came on the ship.
No, he did. Yeah, he was on a. He lived in the 1940s.
Well, the
He
Magid-
passed away not long ago. But I have his book. He wrote it anonymously. I have it. It came out recently in a new edition. And yeah.
Magid says that.
Magid. Rav Yosef Karo has a whole book about all the Torah, the Magid of the Torah.
Do you know what 10,000 is? Every day for 30 years, you have to finish Masechet Makot. That's 10,000.
He actually did it many times in one day.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's why Magid showed up. I said, enough.
But listen, this is called a Magid. Look at this. This is called a Magid. Oh, you want the Hasaga or you don't want the Hasaga? You understand? Why do people go? I told you guys this last week. Why do people go to Rav Chaim Kanievsky? Why? Because they feel he has a Hasaga, right?
Well, they want guidance, yeah.
Or guidance, you could go to your local Rav.
No, but something.
Just make sure he's not a מתייוון. You understand? אלא שאם לא הייתה המצווה כהלכתה, יהיה המגיד ומואר. But if you do the mitzvah not correctly or not לכתחילה, then that Magid, the Magid will come to you. But he'll be mixed truth and lies. Truth and lies. So you don't want that kind of Magid. השלישי, the third, על ידי חסידות. By Chasidut. If you're going to go in the extra level of the law, you're going to do more than what you're supposed to do, יתגלה אליו אליהו הנביא זכור לטוב. אליהו הנביא will reveal, that's a very low level of Ruach HaKodesh. אליהו הנביא, very low level. The fourth level, it's one of the lowest levels of Ruach HaKodesh.
Magid is
Magid is higher than
You're kidding me. Then Eliyahu Navi. Wow.
What's the advantage of having it?
Eliyahu Hanavi?
No, Ruach HaKodesh.
He'll tell you the lottery ticket so you can win $1 million.
I'll answer you like this.
You would know what
See, the
teaching-
problem is, you know why you're asking that?
Without
Why
the
anybody would ask that? It's because you haven't gotten to the level of loving and fearing Hashem to a point where it's like I said, like you're going out on a date, at least.
But there's nothing to
You
do with
understand?
Hashem.
When it has everything to do with Hashem.
Why?
Because when you love Hashem so much, it's like if you love something so much, you wanna see it, you wanna feel it, you wanna know it, you want the Beit. Like, why do I in the Beit Hamikdash? I'm good. That's what the Jews said in the second temple. I'm good over here. I'm in Babylon. Everything's cool. Everything's good.
Gucci.
Yeah, but I want Hashem. I want to do another mitzvah. It's the reason I was created to do this. This is the purpose of my creation. I'm married before because God said so. I brought children because God said so. I'm the way I act because God said so. What does God want me to do with all of this? Like, why does He want me to do this? What's the purpose of my creation? If you're gonna be mafnim this idea that I was created to serve God, this is my purpose of my creation, to serve. Just like the faucet was created to bring out the water, and God's purpose of creating me, was to have a relationship with me. So basically, this whole world is just one marriage.
Yeah, but that's just mitzvot.
Yeah.
Like, attaining Ruach HaKodesh is like going like above and above and above.
But when I'm getting Ruach HaKodesh, basically, what am I becoming?
You're connecting to God.
I'm becoming into such a spiritual being that I've taken out the masach. I say the masach, the barrier, the barrier, and I've suddenly reached the point where I realized that there is really no tzimtzum. Like God was always here the whole time. What's Shir HaShirim? Rabbi Akiva said all the books are Kodesh. The Torah is Kodesh. Everything is Kodesh. But Shir HaShirim, he says, Kodesh Kodashim. What are you talking about? Do you stand up when the book of Shir HaShirim comes out? People don't skip it on Fridays either. You know? But Rabbi Akiva says Shir HaShirim. Wow, what's the whole story of Shir HaShirim? It's the love story between God and Jew. Look at the words over there. It's very, very provocative.
Yeah.
My wife is like, I don't want to say, it's very, I can't say that. Like it's a very sensual book. I mean, that's what Shalom can say that, but it's a very, very provocative book. Shir HaShirim. If you translate it like it's very deep. And isn't that the greatest pleasure? The wedding. When was the greatest day of your life? Your wedding. The wedding was the greatest. The wedding, right?
Instead of trying to just keep the mitzvot regular, why should our purpose be attaining that level?
What do you mean?
Like, shouldn't our purpose be attaining the highest level of obtaining Ruach HaKodesh?
Yes.
So some people, their purpose in life is just try to keep the mitzvot, like normally.
That's a person. He's Asiya. You're over here. You have to already graduate from Asiya.
Someone's going through a Kodesh. Someone wants to pass away.
That's not the point of Ruach HaKodesh.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The point of Ruach HaKodesh is to be in a deeper relationship with
But
God.
they can also use it for the bad. Like they can get the winning lottery numbers.
Yeah, you could be a fake prophet too. There's a bunch of fake prophets. What did Bil'am use it for? Bil'am had Ruach HaKodesh. What did he use it for? No, for money, to make money. He was a mercenary for hire.
Who?
Bil'am.
Yeah.
He was a mercenary. He used it to make money, to be rich, to be powerful.
Your uncle.
You understand?
You have options of what to do with it, or does Hashem just give you one specific thing?
It's hard to say because I have to have it to explain it to you. We're learning it together over here. I'll give you an example. Remember that story, the dream I told you guys of the guy? He had a dream with he came into the shul just now, and he said there was no Sefer Torahs. Do you know? Imagine when that guy told me when he woke up from his dream. He said my heart was racing, and I never had. He said his wife said like he was yelling in the house like he was about to take his phone. In his dream, he was calling somebody like they stole. There's no Sefer Torahs, and like how? Where did they go? He said I never felt something like that in my life. I'll give you another example. Look at the pleasure. Look at the pleasure. When is one of the holiest days in the year? Yom Kippur, right? Because we're the most spiritual day. We basically feeling all this in Yom Kippur. That's the world of Binah. On Yom Kippur, I don't know if you guys ever felt the feeling of just crying like a baby in davening.
Yes.
It's a rhetorical question, but that feeling, if you had it once, you could chase your whole life to have it again. You understand? It's so pleasurable. You made that connection. Like sitting down doing Tikkun Chatzot. I remember when I was single, my Tikkun Chatzot were much different. I had nothing to worry about. I wasn't tired during the day. Just that Chatzot. I used to have a Tikkun Chatzot. You understand what I'm saying? Now, obviously, in the middle of Tikkun Chatzot, I'm already Had Lemala V'Sheva Lemata. You understand? But all my life, I'm just running after that feeling, and by me running after, I'm actually attaining higher levels. And that feeling like I'm serving Hashem because I know my purpose is to serve Him. So I want to serve Him more, and I love Him so much, and I want to say Shema with kavanot. I want to think of God's names. I want to think about Him more. I want Him to speak to me. I want Him to tell me, Shalom, I love you. What does King Solomon say in Shir HaShirim? Nafshi yatsa bedabero. King Solomon is saying, my soul came out when I spoke to you. What a relationship. What is zivug? What's the greatest pleasure in the world? Is zivug, right? What is all the kavanot we do? Zivugim. Putting God now. When we put God's name together, we're not doing what the Ari did. When the Ari was doing it, he must have been in cloud 9. He must have been in the actual Olamot. We do it kikof b'pnei adam, like a monkey is copying a human. Halavai, we should reach that level of euphoria, of connecting to Hashem. Halavai. You understand? That's what we want. That's why we're here. That's why we're learning Torah. Because we know our purpose is to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To be in that relationship with Him. You understand? I'm not having Ruach HaKodesh so people should call me the Baba Sali. People who have Ruach HaKodesh, real Ruach HaKodesh, they want to run away from all of that.
When some people think about Ruach HaKodesh, they're like, oh, I want things I can do with it.
They want things good. These guys are never going to get it. They're never going to get it. Because that's not the point.
Indeed.
You understand? That's not the point of it.
The Ruach Kodesh that you have, not spiritual.
Ruach HaKodesh is meaning Ruach HaKodesh. There is Ruach de Tum'ah.
No, meaning, let's say, like, someone's really good at a job. He knows exactly what job he's going to be successful at and what is not going to be successful at.
If you're saying there are some people with a talent, they're born with some kind of talent that they could see things.
No, I mean, like, for example, a contractor. You
Yeah.
tell him, okay, you need to do this job. He says, okay, I'm not so good at the job. I'm not gonna do it because I know it's not gonna be successful.
Right.
Then another job he knows he's gonna be successful at 100%. It's also some kind of Ruach Kodesh, no? He knows.
Yeah, maybe.
That's something.
That's not Ruach HaKodesh.
That's
No, I'm
experience.
saying, is there other types of it?
easy money.
Could be, guys. Okay, let's continue, guys. Let's finish the last thing. Let's get to the next page. We spoke a lot. Arivi'i.
The fourth.
The fourth. Hi gdula mikolam.
That's the biggest one.
שיזכה שיתגלה אליו נפש של אחד הצדיקים הנפטרים הראשונים. If the souls of one of the earlier tzaddikim will reveal themselves to you. Imagine seeing Abraham Avinu and he's speaking to you. It's hot. He's telling you how to serve Hashem, how to go in the ways of Hashem, what your soul needs. No questions. We gotta go. I'm sorry.
They're going to reveal themselves if they say, I'm Abraham Avinu.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Introduction will be just a proper introduction.
I mean, I don't know. I never felt it, but I'm assuming so.
You would know.
I'm assuming you would know. But there's also Ruach de Tum'ah. You have to be careful. Email, but especially you will get the souls of the tzaddikim from your own shorish neshama. Like Rav Chaim Vital, Abaye used to come to him. Rav Yehuda Sava used to come to him, teach him how to serve Hashem. You understand? It says in the Gemara, Rabbi Yoshua ben Hananiah, and this is in the second temple, without the Shekhinah, the Beit HaMikdash. They used to dance in Simchat Beit HaShoeva all night. They wouldn't even realize it's morning yet for the time of Shema. This is the second temple without the Shekhinah. They used to reach crazy levels of Ruach HaKodesh in the happiness of serving Hashem. This is at the end of the second.
But these are
temple, not even at the
giants.
beginning. The
These
second.
are, we're talking about giants.
But them compared to Isaiah and Habakkuk, they would look at them the way we're looking at Rav Chaim Vital. But they tried. They wanted to serve Hashem. They did everything they can. Of course, the main ingredient is they got to keep the mitzvot. You can't have the pipe. You can't have the pipe. You can't be missing a pipe. You need to be a complete set. You understand? The first thing of that is obviously to be married. Amy scared. So or sometimes you might get that tzaddik inside of you to reveal himself to you if you did a mitzvah like he used to do. Atagash, but he used to do this mitzvah. He used to really like it, and you did it like him. He might come to you and also מתגלה himself to you. Look at this. They're going to reveal to him wisdoms, וסודות גנוזים שבתורה, secrets in the Torah that were never revealed to any other human being, עד להפליא, until it's going to be an awesome might. וכל זה כפי מעשה, and all this according to his level. And the last level, let's just do the last level of Ruach HaKodesh, חמישי, which is the lowest level, הוא שיראה בחלומות, which you will see in your dream, ענייני העתידות, stuff that will happen in the future. That's the lowest level. So even having something in your dream is
Okay,
Ruach
what is
HaKodesh.
called deja vu?
I don't think he's talking about deja vu.
But I'm saying, what is deja vu? Is it some kind of Ruach HaKodesh?
I don't know. I never seen the encyclopedia.
What, you feel like you've
done
feel like there was
You
a
feel like you've been in it. You feel like you've done that.
that.
Done there, been there, seen that.
Yeah, we don't realize the deja vu until it actually
Nah,
happens.
so that's not really it. That's not really. I don't think that's Ruach HaKodesh. You're not.
Why not?
Because you're not realizing it until it happens. You're just feeling like maybe you were there in your last
It's a
year.
reverse-
Maybe you're
reverse
it's the
Ruach
reverse
HaKodesh.
Ruach HaKodesh.
Yeah,
It's
but
Or Choser.
No, but
it's the
it's
Or
still-
Choser, the Ruach HaKodesh.
I would think
Man.
that would be a
Man.
better example of Ruach HaKodesh
Man.
than dream.
Man.
והנה הדרך הזאת היא הדרך ישרה. It says this is the first level that a person should want to reach. To reach Hashem and to reach the Ruach HaKodesh in your dreams. Start in the dreams.
Without the teeth.
Alright? How? כי כיוון שאדם משביע ולא מכריח העליונים, כי מכוח מעשיו הטובים בקדושתו, ודאי שרוח הקודש הטהור ישרת בתור הקלאס. A person should never try to take the easy way out. To make swears on angels, to make hashba'ot, kamiyas, amulets. Rav Chaim says, don't force it. Because if you force it, there's going to be a backlash. You should try to do it through your ma'asim hatovim.
What's Ma'asim Tovim?
Your good deeds. Your good deeds. Ma she'en ken machriach. If you're going to be machriach, it's going to be mixed with bad stuff over there. You should do tefillot, yichudim, think of Hashem's name. And like this, you're going to reach the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay, last paragraph until we get Shar Shemini, the 8th. Talked about the number 8 today, we're getting to the 8. Oh yes, Drachim Achim, there's other ways. I'm going to explain them in the next chapter, which is not in this book. There are ways to force it, and I'm going to explain them in the next chapter, in the next chelek, which is not in this book once again. כדי שלא יהיה בהם טהרות נזכר, הדרך הראשונה הוא שערכו בו הדעות הראשונים, כמו שתבר הרמב"ן, ולדופקה בו. The best way, you have a vessel, just stick it with as much light as possible. Aseh tov, aseh tov, aseh tov. Just do more good, till the kli will have no choice. That will turn into goodness itself, and that's the best way without any danger of getting Ruach HaKodesh. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen.